This is Matador News, and these are today's headlines. The coronavirus continues to spread with more than 20,000 cases confirmed and 427 deaths worldwide. Democratic candidates have moved on to New Hampshire, still waiting for results from the Iowa caucus. And a new study finds Hollywood is more diverse than ever. Hello and welcome to Matador News.
I'm Chloe Hooper.
And I'm Matthew Yahata. Iowa, the first state in the nation to hold their Democratic caucus, found inconsistencies in the results, delaying the announcement of which presidential candidate the state nominates to be on the November ballot. The new app, which is supposed to make counting easier, has backfired. Due to coding issues, the app was only recording partial data. Democratic candidates waiting for results expressed their thoughts for the confusion. Former candidate Julian Castro was up past midnight in frustration.
That this Iowa caucus has been a total mess. It's been a complete failure. The fact is that we still don't have any reliable final results.
Chairman Troy Price says issues have been fixed and that all votes recorded through the app will be correct. There are no signs of cyber activity having malicious intent. Iowa will release results as soon as they know they have accurate data.
Tonight, President Trump will deliver his annual State of the Union address. He's expected to talk about issues relating to the economy, family, healthcare, immigration, and national security. After Trump's speech, Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer will deliver the Democratic response. This year's State of the Union comes a day before the Senate officially votes on the 2 articles of impeachment against him.
An Air Canada Boeing 767 plane has made emergency landing in Madrid after circling the city for more than 6 hours. 128 passengers and 8 crew members were on board the flight, flying from Madrid to Toronto. Moments after takeoff, a tire ruptured and one of the 2 engines was reported as damaged. Air Canada says the plane is designed to fly with 1 engine, and their pilots are fully trained for these situations. An emergency landing request was made 30 minutes after takeoff for safety precautions. No one on the plane was injured.
Hospital employees in Hong Kong area striking to keep the coronavirus out of their medical facilities. Workers are hoping the strike will force the government to completely shut down all borders to mainland China. Hong Kong's leader Carrie Lam says she doesn't think that is the answer to keeping the coronavirus out. It was reported she declined meeting with union leaders to approve the strike. Lam has now closed half of Hong Kong's border checkpoints, as well as ferries and rail services coming directly from the mainland. Hong Kong has now reported its 15th confirmed infection.
The coronavirus continues to spread around the world. More than 20,000 cases are confirmed and at least 427 people have died as of today. Most of those infected and all but 2 people who died were in China. In the US, there are 11 cases confirmed. 6 are in California, and more than 80 other Americans are being tested for the coronavirus. The US government declared a public health emergency last week. Officials in China will allow an American World Health Organization team to go to work in the country. More people are being flown out to China and brought back home to the U.S. Only immediate family members of the U.S. citizens or legal residents are allowed to enter the country. People evacuated or those allowed into the country will be kept for observations for 2 weeks.
Now, let's go to Matador News reporter Bryce Oakes in the newsroom with CSUN students' reactions to the virus.
CSUN students say they are relatively calm about the virus.
And they're overreacting a bit because the flu is more dangerous than that, and I feel like people are just a little over the top.
I don't know, I feel pretty calm about it right now, but I hope everyone feels the same, I guess.
And in addition to that, generally paranoia doesn't help, so they need to try to actually calm the public down, I guess, and to make it a little bit more reasonable, I would say.
The CDC says it spreads from person-to-person contact. CSUN has released a statement for students who are concerned. Recommendations include frequent washing of hands, avoiding contact with crowds and people who are ill, and getting the flu shot if you haven't this season. If you have symptoms such as a fever, cough, or shortness of breath, contact your doctor or the campus student health center. And now, back to Matthew in the studio.
South African former President Jacob Zuma has received an arrest warrant after failing to appear in court. His legal team says Zuma was getting medical treatment outside of the country, but the judge questioned the medical's note from Zuma's doctor. The judge says the court needs more reliable proof of his illness and a date he can be in trial. Zuma is accused of receiving money from a multi-billion-dollar deal in 1999. He was charged in 2018 by his own party and later forced to resign by the African National Congress. Zuma is scheduled to appear in court for pretrial proceedings in May.
A shooting on a Greyhound bus traveling from Los Angeles to San Francisco left one woman dead and 5 others injured. The bus was traveling overnight, which meant most passengers were asleep when shots were fired. Most passengers ran to the back of the bus while the driver pulled over to the side of the road. The gunman was disarmed by passengers and later arrested by the police. The suspect was charged with 1 count of first-degree murder and 5 counts of attempted murder. Investigators say they couldn't find a connection between him and anyone on the bus.
Veteran California firefighters will be back from Australia tomorrow after months of helping fight wildfires there. The Angeles National Forest sent 20 firefighters with a combined experience of more than 100 years. They are among other American firefighters who were sent to Australia in January to help Victoria firefighters. About 30 people have died and more homes destroyed. The fire also affects wildlife. Angeles Fire Chief Robert Garcia says they look forward to hearing and learning from crews' experiences while abroad. The U.S. has sent fire crews to Australia in previous fire emergencies, and Australia has helped the U.S. fight fires too.
A World War II bomb was unexpectedly found in central London. Police immediately evacuated people out of the busy area after the bomb was found. The unexploded bomb was found near Soho's Dean Street, a popular part of the British capital with businesses, restaurants, and bars. Thousands of workers were evacuated from their buildings as police created a cordon to limit the access to the area.
Let's go to Serim Young for the latest of business news.
Thank you, Matthew. Walgreens has been ordered to pay $7.5 million in penalties, costs, and remedial payments after an employee was caught impersonating a pharmacist at an Oakland store. She pled not guilty, but prosecutors say she did not have a pharmacist license. She pulled off the impersonation from late 2006 through 2017 using the license numbers of registered pharmacists. The prescriptions allegedly included more than 100,000 for opioids such as fentanyl, morphine, and codeine. Walgreens says pharmacy quality and safety are top priorities and are doing a nationwide license re-verification of all their pharmacists. Dunkaroos cookie will be returning to the snack aisle this summer. General Mills will be bringing back the most requested flavor vanilla cookies and vanilla frosting with rainbow sprinkles. General Mills says fans everywhere have been asking for it and they're excited to help 90s kids relive their childhoods. Dunkaroos slowly teased its comeback when it created Instagram and Twitter accounts in January. General Mills did not provide a specific data for the return of Dunkaroos. Now let's head to Yahaira, Joaquin, Flores for the latest in health news.
Thank you, Serim. Health officials say Californians can get the flu twice as the influenza A virus becomes more dominant than the influenza B virus, creating a double outbreak. Flu-related illnesses have increased to 19 million cases this week. Californians have endured 77 outbreaks since the beginning of the flu season, causing 211 deaths. 7 of those deaths have been babies or children. The LA's County Public Health Department chief officer says patients who have not received the flu shot should do so now. Extreme symptoms of flu include fever, chills, body aches, headaches, and fatigue. A British breast surgeon performed unnecessary operations for 8 years. An independent inquiry found Britain's national health system failed to keep more than 1,000 patients safe. In 2017, a jury found the surgeon guilty of 17 counts of intent to cause bodily harm and 3 counts of unlawful wounding. Prosecutors say the doctor lied to the patients and exaggerated the risk of cancer to make them have surgery. The doctor was sentenced to 20 years in prison. Now let's go back to Serim and hear the latest entertainment news.
A Beverly Hills 90210 actress is fighting a recurrence of breast cancer, which she says has now progressed to stage 4. Shanann Doherty says one of the reasons she came forward is because her health conditions could come out in court. She has sued State Farm Insurance after her California home was damaged in a fire in 2018. She has been keeping the diagnosis mostly secret, but she says she wanted to be the one to tell her fans. Doherty first revealed about her breast cancer in 2015. She says she hasn't processed it yet, but it's a bitter pill to swallow in many ways. She says she still has some living to do. A new study by USC researchers says the most popular films are increasingly diverse. More of 2019's top movies featured underrepresented minority or female lead characters than ever before. After years of lacking representation in front of and behind a camera, this research helps show real progress being made in the industry. Still, no female filmmakers were nominated for the Best Director Academy Award. Now let's go to Matador News reporter Jairo Jimenez in the newsroom with more on the story.
Thanks, Serim. Professor Joel Krantz from CSUN Department of Cinema and Television Arts says he would like to see more opportunities for female directors in films.
I think they've made some progress, but I think Hollywood still has a ways to go with representing all different types of people in their movies and in front of the camera and behind the camera.
CSUN students say they notice more diversity slowly happening in the film industry.
I think that's really important for the female gender, because one of the things that I notice a lot is how the film industry is predominant with males.
As a Latino individual, for me to see, there's platforms like Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, they're creating shows that are, that have like Latino characters in it, and it just pretty much opens the world for me, for someone like me.
Now let's go back to Yahaira in the studio for the latest sport news.
Thank you, Jairo. It was a close game last night with the Los Angeles Clippers against the San Antonio Spurs. The Clippers beat the Spurs 108-105 in the fourth quarter. Clippers player Paul George fell to the ground after being hit in the nose by Spurs player DeRozan's left elbow in the third quarter. Paul George came back in the fourth and hit 19 shots to help rally the Los Angeles Clippers' victory. Tomorrow night, the Clippers are set to play against the Miami Heat at home. Kansas City player Derek Nottie sponsored dog adoptions after his Super Bowl win. Nottie paid an adoption fee for every win in the season. The Chiefs won 15 times, including postseason. He has partnered with KC Pet Project and paid for the adoptions fees for all adoptable dogs that became available all through February 2nd. The foundation is a nonprofit that takes care of 10,000 pets a year. Now let's go back to Matthew with more news on weather.
Strong winds cause power outages and down trees in Southern California. High winds, cold weather, and possible rain is expected all throughout the next week. Mountain wind gusts in LA County have been up to 64 miles per hour during the day and 80 miles per hour during the night. National Weather Service warns drivers about black ice and snowfall over the Grapevine. Los Angeles and Ventura County will be most affected due to powerful winds. Today, we are expecting a cold, sunny day with temperatures as high as 56 degrees. Temperatures are expected to fall to 38 degrees throughout the night in Northridge. And we may see some rain this weekend.
On a lighter note, the world's so-called worst cat has been adopted into a loving family. Last month, the Mitchell County Animal Rescue in North Carolina posted an adoption ad on Facebook for the world's worst cat, named Perdita. The shelter got more than 175 applications. The original ad says Perdita dislikes children, kittens, Disney movies, Christmas, and hugs. A couple from Tennessee are the new adoptive parents of Perdita, who they are now renaming Noel. Thank you for watching Matador News. I'm Chloe Hooper.
I'm Matthew Yahata.
I am Yahaira Joaquin Flores.
And I am Serim.